around.
One of the things that Chris had that was really good about this is that it's almost, if we were thinking about in terms of where exhibitions might go for graphic design, or how we might get involved and which stage, this like WebVR, the immersive web, is actually a really great thing because this is being rendered in your laptop, so you don't need a special graphics card or anything. And okay, so it's not photorealistic at the moment, but there are other versions of it that can be. And you can display work, you can interact with slides, you can show movies, you can move around, you can collaborate, you can talk, and this is really powerful.
I can't get over how amazing it is to not to do Zoom for starters. I know you've got your window open there, your view on your you've got your
I've got my avatar cam on, yeah.
Your avatar cam on. So normally the DMC don't have those at all because we kind of get immersed in the in the interacting with our sort of avatars, if you like, and try to we've kind of built our connections up through our avatars, which is really interesting because a lot of the DMC have never met each other, especially in this new cohort since we've been doing this since September. So we kind of know each other through our voices and through our avatars, which is really interesting.
Okay, so let's take a wander around. And you also have these things called scenes in this particular software.
Yeah, so I can demonstrate that. So we're in a frame now, and we could jump off to another frame, and we can be in a whole new environment and a different space altogether. Or, if you can see on the bottom here, you've got scenes. So I'm just going to change the scene, and you'll see what's happened now is the scene's changed. The space has stayed the same, but the scene has changed. Should we go through these videos, David?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to go to Engage in a minute. So EngageVR is another platform, which is kind of next level up from WebXR, which this is. So where David and I are at the moment, this is browser-based 3D web. So basically, the point is you don't need to download anything. You literally just go to a browser and you jump in. This that's showing at the moment on the screen is called EngageVR, which is kind of aimed at education. But it's higher fidelity, so that means you have to download an application basically onto your computer. This is where you need a slightly more powerful computer or a decent iPad. And then we're going to demonstrate. We're going to hop in there, aren't we, David, in a bit?
Sure. Yeah.
And the quality of the avatars, everything, are a lot higher quality, and all the environments, like I say, a lot. And also the interactions, there's a lot more sort of ways to interact. You can have up to 60 odd people in these spaces. A really high-end example is this one here. So,
Chris, sorry, Alice is asking, what's the name of the browser that you are using at the moment that you're in?
The browser.
Mm-hmm.
So with WebXR, browser-based 3D web, is the sort of ideal browser to be in is Chrome, Google Chrome.
Right.
And what we're going to do at the end is share the link, and we're going to invite people. So if you can make sure you got Google Chrome on your computers or Google Chrome on your phone, David and I are going to have a sort of mass. We're going to crash the system basically, and we're going to invite you all in. We're going to share the link and invite you all in, and just let it go crazy basically. So yeah, Chrome. So okay. So to clarify, WebXR. It's built on frame A-frame, so you can look at that. I can share some links about the sort of back end of how WebXR is built. I've got a Google Doc on that. So essentially, there's different flavors of WebXR. So the space we're in now, that David and I are in, this one, is managed and developed by a company. Where some WebXR spaces like hubs, Mozilla hubs, is open source, fully open source. And the perfect browser for that, as you would guess, is Mozilla Firefox. So this one we're showing on the video here, I'll make it big, is Sansar. So this is really high-end. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of, I don't know if the noise is coming from the video or someone else. But this is really high. Sorry, this is really high-end VR experience. So you can only enter Sansar in a VR headset. It's for live gigs, live concerts. So basically, it's the most amazing full-on experience. Now this is where you need a tethered headset, really, but it will come to. I'm sure it's going to come to untethered headsets as well. So basically, what you normally do is have sort of 60-odd people dancing around, and you have sort of DJs like this who are chroma keyed in live, and they're DJing live in the space. Okay, so that's that. And then in the sort of middle range, the same as EngageVR, you've got places like this, which is AltSpace, which is so in VR you've got social VR platforms. So and they can be accessed on the desktop as well, on the 2D desktop. So you don't need a VR headset. But again, when you got a VR headset, the experience is different. So this is the Burning Man Festival, which they did this year fully in VR. So they fully recreated the Burning Man Festival. It was mind-blowing. It was brilliant. So you could literally just wander around all the caravans like this, and then you'd go to sort of stage. There'd be like music playing in one stage, and it was just absolutely just nuts. And this was all done in AltSpace, which is a social VR.
So Chris, this one you could use on the web as well, or just
VR? Yeah. So you could access AltSpace on the desktop, on the PC, or on the Mac. Just on the 2D screen. Mm-hmm. But like I say, you know, it's great, and that's fantastic. But being in VR is just a whole nother experience. Basically, it actually feels like you're there. It's and then your interactions with people is different because it feels more sort of natural interaction. Okay. So, David, are you going to hop into the TARDIS?
Yeah, okay. So, just pop into the TARDIS here. So this is, I guess these scenes are like skins, aren't they? They're kind of...
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. I haven't got the TARDIS sound, unfortunately. So, but I've just changed the scene. So if we hop out the TARDIS now, So basically what's happened now, we're in a 360, we're still in the same room, the room's disappeared, we've just entered a 360 image, basically. We just use 3D objects like the TARDIS just to basically mess around and sort of emphasize the point. But essentially all we did there is change the scene. So if I change the scene now, you can see in a 360 film now.
Can you just look around so we can just see how that works? Yeah. So this is a hemispherical video just shot on a 360 camera. It's really basically done. And the last one was a 360 still. I think we've still got our 3D camera in the office if anyone wants to borrow it.
Yeah, this is just a 360 image in the grass. Nice. So literally all I'm doing is changing the scenes. So you can kind of see how you could essentially use something like this to curate a an exhibition or an event or a performance, and essentially that's what the DMC did with the digital fashion. They created multiple frames, and then when the presenters talk about something else, they changed the environment.
I've just popped upstairs to the balcony because I think it'd be interesting for people to see how you actually show work, and you know, how potentially students could create their own exhibition spaces and have people walk into them. Okay.
So up here we've got the wall of frame. So basically what we're doing is when DMC members create different pieces of create their own frames, we just have links off into their frames. So the idea is that we're going to add sort of lots of links up here. So do you want to go to my frame?
Yeah. There, yeah.
Okay. So if we click on the birds, then that's like it acts as a link to the next frame, and you just say go there. When I first started to look at potential exhibition spaces, I had to sort of play around with a few different platforms, and this platform kind of did it for me. It was quite easy to do. So I did this quite a few months ago, and like I say, this is still in beta, so it's still in development. So when I did this, actually, a lot of the old technology they were using to upload content was in place. So I need to actually totally redo this now because it's all using their old system. But that's part of being in the beta and getting involved and being an early adopter of technology and embracing the chaos, and getting involved in platforms like this. So yeah, essentially, I just wanted to see what environments they had. So this was kind of a nice environment. It's like a gallery space. I could put my artwork in here in different ways. So like this painting is, obviously it's not as big as that in real life, wherever it is now. But it was quite interesting to play, not to just replicate and create a sort of realistic exhibition. I think it was just, I quite like the idea of playing with scale on the images.
And you can use this on a mobile phone as well, so it's
yeah, it works really well on the mobile phone.
Of size, really well.
I mean, it's an awkward space, but it kind of, it felt okay as a, in terms of putting the putting this work on the wall, and they keep changing stuff. So at the moment they've added this, when you roll over a piece of work, this sort of magnifying glass, which I don't like because it's, it just kind of ruins it a little bit. So there's things like that kind of, you think, oh, I don't like that. And then basically, so being part of a beta development, you're basically on the Discord channel. So for those that know Discord, it's like a sort of community channel for sort of sharing information. So they've got a Discord channel, and you basically just feedback. So I fed back today to say I don't really like that, or I like it, but can you turn it off? Can you have an option to turn it off? So yeah, import videos, put your own videos in. The text I put on the wall, so I just made it with a transparent background, so PNG text. Yeah, so it's good. And so when I did this quite a few months ago, and I shared it, and I got quite a good response. So I thought, actually, yeah, maybe this is the platform to go and start to. So I kind of put it out to the DMC. I said he wants to be involved in a project to explore the immersive web, and we'll kind of use FrameVR as our, I guess, essentially as our sort of platform for jumping off into other experiences. So we don't necessarily want to stay in FrameVR all the time, but it's a really good base camp, and that's what we do. We basically just meet in FrameVR, and then we say, okay, let's all go to AltSpace and explore, or let's go to EngageVR and explore that. Okay, so I guess this, this is the kind of interesting thing, because I guess there's a few ways to think about it. And, if, like me, a lot of this work at the moment is traditional 2D work, paintings or videos that I would show traditionally in the gallery or whatever. So obviously they're just imported as sort of image copies. But I guess what there is at the moment is quite a movement around like we looked at earlier, around the sort of digital, creating work specifically for immersive spaces. I think is really interesting. And I think this is where exploring the sort of digital creation tools that are out there at the moment, that we looked at previously, and not just the VR tools, but also some of the digital 3D tools. For me, that's where I want to go next. So now I'm really fired up to start to, I'd love to paint again, but it's just not practical at the moment. So I'm really going to start to explore sort of creating digital paintings, if you like. Actually, why don't we let's go back to the DMC space. Should we do that, David?
Yeah.
And then what we can do is hop into the Sandbox Space.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can have a little play around, because obviously I think the students would be quite interested in just seeing some of the tools.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to if we go to the DMC XR space, and then in the chat there's a link to the Sandbox. That should do it. Yep. Okay. Sorry. Is that okay?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, great. So basically what I've this is a Sandbox space. As you can see, it's different. And the Sandbox space can be anything. So basically you can, if you have a look here, I've got my menu open at the side. Edit mode, that's the avatar cam that David's got on at the moment, so you can choose to have that on or not on. Okay, so let's have a look. So you've got an inventory, so you can add to inventory, so you can add 3D images, 360 photos, 360 video, PDFs, video, audio, and 3D models. And then you have like an inventory of stuff. So when you've imported it to your inventory, it's there for you to just bring into the space. So it's like your own little sort of pot of content. When you create a FrameVR account, you get the option to create 3 different frames. So with this, we've got the Sandbox Space, we've got the DMC hub and all that. So you can see where it says environment here. This is where you can change the different environments. I won't change it now, I mean, you can do later on. So this is the Zen Office. So this is like the out-the-box space that you can create. I've just got that image in the background. And then you've got a massive expo center. You've got like a neon hall, which is fun. We did some events in there as well. You've got the gallery space, that's where we were at earlier on. That's kind of out-the-box space. You've got the atrium, where we were at, where the DMC hub is. We've got the outdoor theatre. You've got another gallery space there, and then you've got empty space. So that's quite interesting. So you can literally start off with just a totally blank canvas, which I think is good. And then if you wanted to import stuff, you can say add to this frame, and you can add an image, and then you can select the image that you want to import. It actually says on the side here what you can upload. So there you go. You can upload PNGs, JPEG images, up to 10 meg. So this is a really important thing when you're importing stuff into the 3D web. You need to really I'm just going to try something. You need to really sort of change the be mindful of the sort of file size that you're bringing in, and make sure you change it, reduce it down if it's too large. And there are sort of caps on here, like you can see. So ideally under 10 meg. 360 video, it says what format to do it in, as you can see there. PDFs, video, so it's under 100 meg. They've got quite a nice compression thing. So if you bring 100 meg video in, it'll compress it nicely. MP4, AVI, 360 videos.
There's a lot of import options here.
Audio, yeah.
And when we were downstairs and you just had something on the wall, you can also just show your screen on the wall and share it immediately, or you can
Exactly.
share it immediately. So it's like more of a workshop environment downstairs where you can talk and share, and up here is much more of a makerspace, I guess.
Well, no, I mean so that's like a screen. I've just put it in the space. I've just add the streaming screen, so I can just turn that around like that, and scale that up, scale it down. So so I've just added that into the space, and essentially that's what you can do in any space if you've got the editing rights to do it. So I've just gone into editing mode there, and that's the screen now ready to go. If I wanted to add a whiteboard, I could do the same. So I can to edit it, and I can move that into a location as well. So you just place stuff around the space, you know.
Okay. Chris, do you think we could just have a quick look at the London College of Fashion event?
No, it wasn't London College of Fashion. It was a DMC event.
Oh, okay.
And it was just one note on it was a DMC event with London College of Fashion students and Chelsea students and you know, all UAL students sort of in the DMC collaborating, and that's a great thing about the DMC. It's not one particular college, but it was around digital fashion. But just one thing to add or to say, so yes, you can add 3D models, and you've got two ways of uploading 3D models. So you can browse, you can add it direct, and that's the option there. So when you're adding 3D models.glb is the one. So and in Blender, you'll see if it's a new version of Blender, you can see an option for .glb files, and you can see they need to be small as well. Really good practice to understand, and you know, I think WebXR is a great way to kind of, you know, keep file sizes down and to understand the sort of the importance of that, really. So that's directly uploading models. The other way to upload model is through Sketchfab. So you can literally just, I don't know if I've got a login already. Let's have a look. Accept. Are we all right for time?
Yeah, we're all right for a few minutes.
Yeah. So I've logged into Sketchfab. I can just write what I'm searching for, and then I can filter it. So I can say, actually, and what is good practice is I want to keep the poly count down to 10K. So I don't want like a massive poly count. I probably won't be able to load this, but I'll try. Yeah, so I've maximized my 10 models. So you're only allowed 10 models per frame. So obviously this is an open frame. So what I'd need to do is delete some models from this frame. So you've got to kind of, but normally when you click import, that 3D model will just literally go into the frame. Okay. So we need to go back to the DMC space.
Chris, got a couple of questions. David, question for you first, David, from Meg. Meg's asking, is this how we're going to do the summer exhibition this year?
Well, I mean, I don't really want to stand around and wait for lots of things to radically change. It'd be good to certainly have a blended approach if we could. And I don't know what the summer's going to look like for us, but we should certainly be looking at this kind of thing, and perhaps you know, in IRL as well. And so we don't know what's coming. I think it's an interesting place to start a debate about what an online show might look like.
Great, thank you. Alice asks, Chris, who created these spaces? Was it a collaborative effort? So I think she's talking about the spaces that you've just been shown through. Yeah, so basically this, like I say, that a lot of these environments are out the box, you know, totally out the box environment. So you don't need to. I guess that this is where you may make your decision. So if you want to, so when I was looking at FrameVR, I saw that gallery space. I thought that's actually aesthetically quite nice. Where I put my artwork and I put it in there, and it kind of worked, and I'm kind of happy with that. But a lot of people might not be happy with the 3D, the spaces that come out the box. So you might want to explore other platforms, and that's where, you know, you might want to have a look at hubs, Mozilla hubs, because with Mozilla hubs you can actually create your own server,
and you can upload massive models, your own models, big environment models and world build in there. It's kind of a different space. So I kind of see FrameVR as really good for being stable, where Mozilla Hubs is I guess because it's open source and and it can be quite flaky, but you can basically have a server and manage your own server, which is really powerful. I'm just going to what's that? I'm just going to import a 3D model quickly. So because because I've got lots of models in here, so canned meat.
Chris, more questions coming in. I'm going to fire one to you. Marissa. Marissa asks, how do you build these spaces, i.e. walls, windows, etc., from a blank space if you only have a max of 10 models and max upload size? Okay.
So that's a 3D model I've just imported, and that came from Sketchfab. As you can see, that's like a fully editable 3D model. I can scale it, move it, and place it in different positions. And this is in my sort of 3D model inventory. So to answer the question, basically, okay, so when you create a FrameVR account, you get an option in your frame. So when you create a frame, so I've created the DMC space here. You see here where it says environment. You see all these different environments. If I was to click on empty, that's changed the whole environment. And has David disappeared? Probably has. Probably no, he's still there.
Yeah, still here.
That's changed the whole environment to a blank environment. So as you can see, all the 3D assets that we brought in, or the DMCs brought in, like that crazy belly guy, is all still here. But what we've done is change the environment. So this is a blank environment. So what you could do, and we have done in the past, is you can create your own 3D model and bring it into this this empty space, if you like. So if I was wanting to, as you can see, environment empty. So if I wanted to change the environment again to, I don't know, let's go to the neon hall. Okay, you see it's changed that environment. This is the out-the-box environment. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, this is the kind of skinning thing we were talking about before.
Yeah, these are the environments that come with FrameVR built in. So you can choose those different environments that you want to make your own, or you can have a blank one. Yeah, but like I say, if you actually didn't like any of this, and you actually wanted to build your own world build, then you need to start looking at other spaces really. Because yes, you can use the blank frame and import models, but you've got your limitations. And I guess that's the difference between FrameVR, which is a great and really stable, and it's in beta mode at the moment, but it's going to have a business model attached to it. So it might be like, okay, you can buy some server space or something like that, and then you need to pay extra. Yeah. Oh, there you go. We're actually inside a cat head, I think. Did you import the cat head? Yeah. So you can transform the space quite considerably, and that's just a 3D model of a cat head that David's just imported.
I don't think I did. Did I?
Oh.
Was that? Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I did. I'm pressing buttons.
That's good. That was good. That was quite effective.
Chris, Sienna's got a question for you. Yes, she says, I also wanted to ask, what are some of the VR tools and methods for creating art and design within these digital environments? So, what can you do actually working physically inside them?
Yeah, so I guess that, I'm sorry, I'm just closing the blinds here. Okay, so if I understand the question right, so you've got, I guess that's where you need to make your decision on, what environment, what tool you want to use. Dave's getting a bit closer. What tools? So I guess, okay. So there's a museum of other realities. If you Google that, museum of other realities. So that's like a museum of immersive art. And the artwork that's in there has mostly been created by artist designers using 3D creation tools. So that can be anything from sort of creating 3D objects and assets in Blender, or using tools like we looked at previously, the VR creation tools. So something like Tilt Brush, for instance, which is, again, it's got its own aesthetic. People might not like that. Gravity Sketch, the same. So you can obviously create designs and artwork either fully immersed using VR, and then import those artworks into a museum space or gallery space and show them. Is that what you mean?
Let me have a look.
Hey, it's me. It's Sienna.
Hi.
Yeah, I was asking because I get that you can import artwork and designs that you have already made within the digital space, but I was just asking how would you create art within the VR space? I mean, like using, like you said, like VR drawing and that sort of stuff. Like, how would that work? Or does it always has to be imported?
I guess, yeah, because okay, so if you're say creating work in VR in one of those applications, and then you want to show that work to other people, I guess this is where the limitations start to appear, because a lot of the creation tools for creating VR in VR are kind of single user, and I guess that this is where a lot of those tools are starting to look at and starting to see the potential for basically how that can become more multi-user. Because I think one of the most powerful things of this space is that it is we can bring 3D artworks into this space or into these kinds of spaces, and then we can experience those 3D artworks together as you would in a physical art or gallery space, right? So I think that's quite the powerful thing. But if you were to say, I don't know, do and also it's so fast moving. So let's take Tilt Brush, for instance. So if you were to create an artwork in Tilt Brush using the full extent of, I mean, do you know what Tilt Brush is? For those that, it's really difficult not having, I'm just going to share my screen again. Just 1 second.
I've just put it in the chat.
Oh yeah, I'll get it on the screen as well. So Tilt Brush, for instance, which is, how do I share the screen now? Share screen. I'll take a risk of sharing the whole screen. Yeah, so again, with a lot of these tools, there's I guess it's around the sort of aesthetic, isn't it, that you're after and that you're comfortable with. I mean, like Tilt Brush is great, but there's a certain aesthetic to Tilt Brush. And I think as a designer and an artist, you might want to get a tool that when people see it, they don't think, oh, that's been made in Tilt Brush. If that makes sense. So it might be that what would be good is to explore or kind of mixing stuff together. So looking at how people experience stuff. So looking at the immersive web, and then how you can bring 3D objects that have been created in Blender or in different programs that might have some sort of animation to it as well, and then how you can bring those into that environment. So you've added another layer. So yeah, I think I guess this is down to that early adopter thing. This is the Wild West at the moment, and if there was ever a time to, but basically what I'm trying to do is articulate something that doesn't really have a language, and I think that's exactly what we need. We need designers, artists to come and say what that language is, basically, for this medium.
So, Chris, how can people get involved in the DMC? What's the URL for that?
Okay, so the best thing to do is to email me. So and then so the DMC, like I say, is a where are you, David? Are you still? You've left the building.
No.
Are you in the building?
I am.
So the DMC is like I say, it's a totally voluntary. It's not like a UAL service or technical resource or anything. It's literally just a bunch of people coming together and meeting. So I would say come and meet me. Come and email me, and then I'll send you information about meetups and just also to sort of help you get on board, basically, in using like the spaces that we use. And then we have communication channels like WhatsApp and stuff where we sort of share information.
Okay.
Do you want to hop into Engage? Have we got time?
Yeah, and it would be great for people to be able to come into this space as well to experiment.
Yeah. So what should we do first?
Let's do the experiment first.
Experiment of crashing the.
Yeah, let's get people
in this place and then have a quick look. Because yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So if people want to join us in here, open your Chrome browser, and then have you got the link to share them with everyone?
Yeah. Let me just bring it up.
Yeah, Chrome browser. That's the important thing, because it doesn't work in other browsers too well. And let's crash this this thing. Let's see how many we can get in. So the limit is 35. Okay, so when you come in, you'll be like an anonymous robot. So you can change your name in here. So if you go to profile, you can put your name, click set. Yeah. They're all coming in now. Look. And you can customize your avatar here. So just in the menu at the side. 10, 11. Hey. What I could do also is jump in VR.
And in this particular environment, what would that help you do?
So basically, I'll do it now. Are we all right for time? I'm okay.
Yeah, we're kind of right now, so we're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, have a wander around. So those people that have joined, hello. Use your WASD keys to move around if you're on a screen computer. Actually, the DMC are due to meet here at 6 o'clock. So we've got one of our meetups. So if anyone would want to come back at 6 o'clock and join our DMC meetup, please do.
Okay, so Chris, we're going to show one last thing.
Yeah. So we're going to show EngageVR. So I guess the next step up to this, WebXR, which is browser, as you all saw, you could easily jump in on the browser. Hello there, Vaccine. So I'm just going to stop sharing. Sorry, I love your glasses, but I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to start sharing EngageVR. So this is like next step up. So this is a this is the same sort of fully immersive space, and you can enter it on a 2D screen. But ideally, you want to be in VR because this is like, you know, the fidelity of the content is quite amazing. So this is a reproduction, virtual reproduction of a green screen space in Dave's school in Florida. Are you going to join us, David?
Yeah, I'm joining now. Yeah. So interestingly, with this one, this is PC. The Mac one's still being made. This is
the Mac. Yeah.
I'm on an iPad here, and it works just fine on iOS on an iPad.
So that's David. So yeah, the great thing about EngageVR, although David can't do it because he's on his iPad, but you can have realistic avatars, so you can put a picture of your own face in, and if at the end of this, I can quickly show the avatar, you know, how the avatars are built. But I think that's quite powerful. So you can actually, you know, have your sort of personal characteristics if that's what you want. Because I think the whole avatar industry is quite interesting. You know, the sort of idea of you know, either being something totally different or being realistic is quite interesting. So really quickly, because I know time's getting on. So basically, you can choose locations. So did you want to go back to that location we were at yesterday?
Sure.
So one of the locations, for instance, is the White House. And so basically what you can have is up to 60 people, and you can teleport into different locations. So I'm teleporting David now and myself into the Oval Office. There you go.
So that's an interesting place to have a meeting.
Yeah, so it's actually quite nice. So you can move over here, and then you click. Oops. So yeah, you can sit down, have your sort of meeting here in the Oval Office. So yeah, like I say, this is a sort of different level, a sort of next step up from WebXR. And in terms of you know, the kind of interactions you can do in here are quite amazing. So you can do volumetric recording. So that is basically if we wanted to record ourselves in 360 and then see ourselves again, we basically do that. Shall I do that, David?
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. My computer's straining. Okay, so I'm gonna tell everyone. I'm gonna record. So basically, what's going to happen now when it stops beeping? So everything we do now in this space. So hello, David, and walking around. So give it a bit of interaction. So I'm going to sit on the bosses. So yeah. So everything we do now is basically being captured volumetrically. So when I stop the recording, it'll replay all these actions, and that means that anyone. So rather than watching a recorded video, anyone could come and walk around the recording and literally walk right up to people like this, which we can do in a minute, and walk around people and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just going to go off into here just to end the recording. I'm moving a bit fast, so sorry about that. So I'm going to stop the recording. Save. Recordings, hopefully that's saved. I might have. Okay, so when I hit this now, it's going to replay that. And there we are, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was watching a lecture about the planets the other day from Cambridge or Oxford, I can't remember where it was now, in their library. And the planets were like brought out of the screen and they were showing satellites and all sorts of things.
So which one's the real David? Guess. Go on. Which one's the real one?
I'm the one that's moving around on the set. I think I'm going to sit down. It's making me queasy.
Wow, Chris, your avatar really looks like you.
Yeah, exactly. This is a great thing. It's you know, literally you just put a picture of your face and it just superimposes it and creates it instantly, basically. And they'll disappear when the recording ends. They've gone. Bye. Go. Oh, yeah, gone. So yeah, I think at that point is a good point to end.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. It's really refreshing.
Great. Thank you. Pleasure.